Let's start this first um, project management webcast, people. Welcome. Any of you viewers, if you're out there, I see that there's no viewers outside, so it's just us, but it is being recorded, which is exciting as heck, and I'm so excited that you all got here. And so now we are going to start by introducing our guest speaker, and the person who will be the most often will probably be Jason Tratch. Jason Tratch is one of the experts in project management. We love talking to him because if you want to see passion about something as mundane that most people think project management is, you'll find out as these webcasts continue on that project management is exciting. People love it. There's lots of stuff that will happen in these conversations, and we are open to having more and more guests. So if you're interested in being part of one of these, make sure you get in touch with us, and we will actually invite you to the next one. If you have some legitimate questions, you can also send us emails, or if you'd like to see a focus of some sort on project management webcasts, we will do so. But that's enough of an intro. What I would like to do is introduce Jason Tratch, which is in our list down here. He's not one of the two good-looking girls on the left-hand side. He's not the guy in the tracksuit. It's not the guy next to me. It's the one that says Jason over top. So what you may want to do is click on his face so that he is the main feature, and then we'll start by having Jason introduce himself by telling us why or all of us would be here to listen to Jason Tratch talk about project management. Who the heck are you, sir? Why are you here, and what do you have to say about project management?
Well, thank you, Darren. And this is really exciting. This is my first webcast, and this to me is why project management needs to be online. It needs to be virtual, and it needs to be shared, because project management is changing and evolving, and the old style of teaching and training was in a classroom, and project management is so much about evolution and using the tools that we have at hand. Oh, go ahead, Jackson. Sorry.
Nothing. Jackson was just shutting off his microphone, that's all, because he was speaking in the background and didn't have his microphone shut off. So he has it off now, and you can tell by his smile that I don't think he actually had a question.
So is there, are you able to hear me okay?
Yep, you're coming across just fine.
Oh, this is amazing how we can collaborate with people around the world. And that's what it comes back to project management, is you can manage a project no matter what industry you are in, no matter what your job is you could be called a foreman, a superintendent, a office manager, a vice president, a CEO. We all do project management. And then there's way too many people that teach and talk project management and say this is the way you do it. But no, it's not true. It's what kind of team do you have? How unique is your project? How complex is your project? And how many tools on your belt can you have in order to tackle that project risk? Because the project has tremendous risk, and it will not go according to plan. So now what you do is you try to manage those risks and try to keep it as close to that plan as possible. It's going to go ahead of schedule, behind schedule, up, down. If you have a flat line, it's going to be constantly up and down. That yellow flag should be raised every other week, and red flags can be coming up. So this is
okay, Jason. Before you go any further, Jason, I just have a question. One of the things that when I started at this company, one of the things that you kept talking about was, oh, project management, and so I actually did a little bit of reading and got into the reading of it, and I thought, oh, this is just this is what everyone does in their life and everything they do, and so it would be interesting just to get your perspective that if I'm at home and I have a child, which I do, a 10-year-old, and I love him dearly, if he is a very busy person and does a lot of stuff at home as far as sports and other stuff, would that be considered a project management? Could I use project management's approach to handle my family and to be able to make us more productive and ability to cover all the things that we do?
Exactly, and that's where you can see it. It's project management is blended into everyday life activities, because really what we should differentiate is what is a project and what is operations. So a project is something that's temporary, meaning it has a start and an end, and it's unique. So depending on the level of uniqueness is how much planning you're going to have to put towards that. So if you're getting your kid out the door to soccer practice, now what is the uniqueness of it? Okay, well, the uniqueness is you have to get them out the door at 6 o'clock and you've come home at 5. So the uniqueness and planning you can do in your head, because you got to say, okay, what is the objective? Objective is to get him to the soccer field. But then there's secondary objectives, is to make sure that he's had a little snack before he goes out, he's all properly equipped, and he gets there on time and is excited to have some fun.
So in your household, when you're doing that, would you consider your wife to be a project manager like yourself? And who actually is the person who dictates who runs a project and who executes it and all those other things? Do you find it helps you guys work as a team knowing something about project management?
Oh, yes. And that's the thing, is it's so if my wife is the PM or I am the PM, it's going to be dependent on who comes home first. And we work in a collaborative manner, because project management, you've got one PM, but you've also got key resources that are continuously coming in and out of the project to be leveraged. So that is the real, that's today's project management world. Old days, it was very much more just a few people. Now there's a collaborative, diverse team that is in and out, and that's the collaborative style of project approach. So yes, for example, getting my wife and I, and then you're going to depend on each other more as the uniqueness increases, as the complexity increases. So if I now all of a sudden have to get my kid to a soccer tournament in another city, so now all of a sudden the complexity has grown. Now I actually may document some of this into a plan, because the complexity I can't handle in my head, and I'm going to have to now associate with other stakeholders to help me manage that project. Now I have to actually plan a hotel. Now I have to plan what are the activities that we're going to do in that other city. Now we're going to have to plan and coordinate with the coach. So now this coach is a subject matter expert, because he wants all the team members to be staying together in the same hotel. Now we're going to have to plan with my wife, are both of us going or is one going? So this is all going to impact, again, how much complexity I'm going to have to manage when I'm there. So it's all about creating that idea of, first of all, what are your objectives? Then what is the scope? What is the schedule? What are the constraints? So money is going to be a major constraint on that trip to the other city. So that's going to influence the hotel I stay at. That's going to influence the meals. Maybe I pack a lunch on the way there, or maybe I stop at Tim Hortons. These are all little influencers of budget. So then you've got scope, schedule, budget, cost, quality, all these influencers.
Okay, so just one last question before we can this, because we don't want to go too long. But one of the statements that sort of tweaked a little bit of interest with me is the new way of doing project management. So I know the old way of running a family was I was the boss of the family, and I would stand in front of everybody, and my family did as I thought was expected, and away you go. And so does the new project management, does it have something to do with the collaboration and the communication is a lot more invested in the whole project? And is it important that if you use a new project management style, that the communication is one of the most important aspects of communication of project management now?
I think exactly. I think communication, but even bigger than communication, it's collaboration and critical thinking. Because the way our philosophy is, and the way this book that I wrote and the softwares that I'm passionate about in project management, is the old way you manage with authority, and you manage and you expect people to be more like soldiers, and you say, this is the plan, do the plan. The new way, the world is too interconnected. Markets are changing. billion-dollar companies are going bankrupt. And inventions are so extreme in terms of how they can impact our function, is that if we want to embrace it, you have to be dynamic and you have to be collaborative. So now what we want to manage is a team where it's flatter and people's opinions matter, and you're collaborating to the point that, okay, team, what are some creative thinking? What are some critical problem-solving ideas that we can have? and you collaborate together to achieve the objectives. That is the new way. The old way would be much more is, here's the plan, and I'm going to manage you to the plan, and you're going to do it to the plan. And then when changes, when they start coming, that old way didn't do well. Now the new way is much more agile, much more dynamic, and it is our new way of life. Do you want to raise your kids to be soldiers, or do you want to raise them to ask questions and be critical thinkers and be innovative and embrace new technologies? So that's, I don't even call it work-life balance anymore. I call it work-life blending, because it is about that technology, and our systems are all integrated between both, and you have a lot more fun that way.
Okay. Thank you very much, you guys. This is our first webcast. I appreciate it. We will pick up a different topic and a different conversation next week, same time, Thursday at 11 o'clock. Hopefully this time we'll start at 11. I'm sorry this one started later, but we have now finished our first live webcast for project management, and we'll invite more people. If you would like to be a guest, remember, get in touch with us. We have a web page. Just go on there. There's a Facebook page as well. We are Next Lev Solutions Inc. in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and we are leaders in project management. We'll talk to you later.